complete guide to changing strings. So first of all, look at your string headstock. And if you look at this particular string here, there's maybe one too many winds on there, but as you loosen it, just check how far up the headstock it goes. So for example, loosen it a little bit. When it gets loose enough, you'll be able to actually just uncoil it like that. Okay, so with the string still on the guitar, see how far up it reaches there. Now on most acoustics you're going to find that it's going to be about 2 peg widths, maybe a couple of inches or so. So that is where you're going to put the kink in the string. Okay, now other end of the guitar, your pegs. You don't really want to be using a pair of pliers on these if you, to pull them out. If you do, wrap a little bit of kitchen towel round first before you use the pliers so that you don't damage them. What I do, obviously these are jammed in quite hard now because they've been there for a while, so if you can push the string in slightly, a bit like that, quite often it helps them come loose. You see there? So that one now comes out and you can remove the string. Now, one thing that's a very good idea to do whenever you change your strings is, and I don't know if you can see this, yeah maybe, it's gathered a bit of dust, so now that the string is off, you can give it a little bit of a clean with a dry cloth, that end, and this end as well. Obviously normally it's quite difficult to get the dust and grease off when the strings are on, so you can actually just give it a little bit of a clean at a time with every string. The other thing to do is give the fretboard a quick clean while you're at it. So a bit of kitchen towel, and today I happen to be using if you can read backwards, Danish oil. There are several different kinds of oil. There's Danish oil, there's teak oil, different wood finishing oils, and there's also, I can't remember what it's called, but they put it on cricket bats. Anyhow, different guitar manufacturers say different things about lemon oil. One of the things about lemon oil is because of the lemon in it, it can potentially damage glue, holding your frets in and what have you. So I don't personally use it, especially as Taylor guitars recommend Danish or teak oil. I can't remember which. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So quick wipe up and down the fretboard. Check for a bit of finger grease, and doesn't seem to be too bad today. And then give it a quick wipe with the dry side. There we go. Looking nicer already. Okay. Word of warning. This stuff, when it's got the oil on, is extremely flammable, so when you throw it away, throw it in the bin outside, not in your kitchen. Right, next, string. I should have had this one ready really, but there you go. So let's just take this off. Now at this end, see that, with the ball and the wrapping there, just give it a slight kink like that. That's probably enough actually, just so that when you put it back in, put it back in this way so that the kink is facing up towards the hole. Need 3 hands to do this. the ball is out of the way for when you put the peg in, so that when you pull the string it's actually coming up against the back of the wood rather than being stuck on the end of the pin and then it goes twang later on. So push the pin in nice and tight. Right. Back up to the headstock and let's just straighten the hole there, just make it a little bit easier. Thread the string through. Now remember what I said before about measuring it when you take it off, so we're going to put a kink in it, kink in the string about there, and then we're going to pull it up. Now what I would normally do here with thinner strings, but it doesn't work with the string quite often, or possibly the A, is I just double it through. But as I say, the holes in the machine heads here, they're too small for this particular string. Okay, now we tighten it up again, making sure that it's going the right way. Or you can do it by hand for the first couple of turns. Now I'm going to show you that. So what I will do to help the string grip on itself is I will pass it over the string first, if you can see that, and then under on the next pass. Let's see if you can see that. So the first coil goes over the top, the second coil goes over under the bottom of the spare bit of string sticking out. Then tune it back up again. This is where string winders are a very good idea. Try and do this as quickly as we can. Might be quicker if I do it manually. Something like that. Right. Finish it off with the machine head now, nearly there. Now, when you are tightening it up, it is a good idea just to put your finger here to keep the string down so that it joins on at the bottom of the coil, and also keep an eye on where it is in respect to the bridge. So you can't see this, but I've got my thumb underneath there, just guiding it back into the slot on the nut, because you might find a lot of the time you've tightened it up like that. Obviously you don't want that, you don't want to scratch it when you pop it back in. Okay, so we've now got a small bit of tension, off we go. Quite far off. Right, that's about right. The last thing that I do, the string will take a little while to adjust, so you need to give it a bit of a tug, and do it at different intervals, not too far, you know, sort of like a big bend. Do it at different intervals all the way down the string like this, every couple of frets or so. Just giving it a bit of a tug, obviously, like I say, not too hard, and then it's stretched. You need to do it all the way along the string, because if you do it at just one point, the string is not going to stretch in a linear manner, and that's why you need to do it every couple of frets or so that when you go back to tune it, it should be okay now. Okay, and the last thing, the loose bit here, obviously cut it, I don't know, maybe half a centimetre or so from the edge there with a pair of pliers, and push it inwards, so that when you pick it up or you're handling the guitar, if it's sticking upwards, it can really hurt because that just goes straight into your skin. Okay, and I think that's just about all the tips and tricks that I have for changing a guitar string. Okay, so I've changed the string, I've cleaned the fretboard, I've oiled it, and I've dusted off the guitar at the same time, so lots of jobs done there in once. It's also, as you can tell, I'm changing the strings one at a time. This is better for the neck rather than just releasing all the tension off the neck at the same time. Remember, a guitar is made of wood, so it takes time to adjust to things. So if you take all of the strings off, pop them all back on, and then tighten them up again, you may have some intonation problems and whatnot, and trouble with the action of your guitar. Doing it this way has always worked very well for me, regardless of where I've lived, where I've kept my guitars in cases, hung up on the wall, you know. I should move that actually because there's a radiator over there, but there we go. Okay, thanks for your time, and I hope that helped.